In the auto sector category, the government has gone ahead and cut the GST on most automobiles. Cars, petrol as well as diesel cars, which are 1200cc and 1500cc respectively and under 4 meters. The GST on those has been slashed from 28% to 18%. Meanwhile, motorcycles, which are 350cc and under, are also getting a tax relief from 28% to 18%. But in the bigger cars and the bigger SUVs category, remember, the government has gone ahead and increased the tax from 28% to 40%. However, there was earlier this equation of GST of 28% plus cess, and now that cess is going to be done away with from October 1st, which means cars, even the bigger cars, are likely to get cheaper, is what our understanding is at the moment, by at least 3 to 4% or so, since the cess component is going to be done away with. Let's put all this into perspective, especially given the promise made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi that Diwali is when the GST bonanza is going to come. And now it seems that with the festive discounts potentially in the offing and the GST cut well ahead of Diwali, in fact, on the first day of Navratri, they come into effect. What does this mean for you as a consumer who's looking to buy your next car or your first car? Sumit Chaturvedi, a senior journalist, is joining me on this show this morning. Sumit, what a pleasure to have you here, and thank you so much for your time. You are an auto sector veteran yourself. You've been covering it for over 20-25 years. From your reading of what was announced yesterday and your interactions with folks from the industry, tell us, can consumers expect a double bonanza, that it's not just going to be a GST cut come Diwali, there's also going to be the regular festive discounts that auto sector offers?
Well, right, Karthik, you are right, Bank. They are saying this right because at one point of time when government is giving this GST rate reduction bonanza to customers, well, they can expect more discounts this Diwali and year-end season because the sales have been sluggish since the last few months. Remember, in 2020 during COVID, the sales came crashing down, but then they picked up. The waiting list was back on cars and two-wheelers. Now they have come down. So this kind of bonanza was something customers were waiting for. Well, anybody who's planning to buy a car or two-wheeler, this is the right time. And I would say rather than waiting for year end, this is the time in the next few days after 22 or 2nd of September that they can go and buy. And then as you have already mentioned, the cut on most of these prices of two-wheelers and four-wheelers, that will happen. Well, they can get more discounts, a little more, by negotiating in a better way. So yes, it's all going to benefit consumers. Certain things have happened in the auto space over the last few months. We have seen Supreme Court also deciding on that important factor of 15 years diesel. That's and right. 10 years petrol. That thing is also something that will play on the mind of customers because that will decide how the second-hand car market will, in a way, play.
Absolutely, Sumit. But there was also this one fear that had crept up over the last 2 days through a report that was published by Reuters, which had put this sort of question mark on what the government is going to do with electric vehicles, especially those which are priced between the 20 lakh and the 40 lakh rupee range. And the report had then said that the government is likely to increase the tax on those cars from 5% to 18%. But the government has kept that category absolutely unchanged, and the 5% on electric vehicles stays intact. Do you think the government could have potentially given a nil tax for smaller electric vehicles to really go on this mission of 30% electrification of private cars by 2030?
Just to give a perspective, Karthik, a lot of debate has been going on between hybrid cars and electric vehicles. Though on one side, government is really, in a way, promoting electric vehicles by keeping GST at 5%. Hybrid cars are also something that are favorite of customers.
That's
Remember,
right.
Uttar Pradesh had given very good relief on hybrid cars. So the debate has been going on from the last few months. Hybrid lobby and EV lobby are against each other. So government could have gone and given nil percent. But anyways, electric vehicles are getting so many subsidies, many schemes. So in a way, 5%. Keeping it intact is also a shot in the arm for electric vehicle makers. On the other hand, some clarity is needed for hybrid vehicles as well. Companies are coming with all kinds of models, and they have to decide what kind of models they have to go ahead with. So EV, in a way, has been kept at 5%. It's, in a way, good only. Yes, reports were earlier saying luxury cars, the higher CC car, or in fact higher price bracket cars, Mercedes, Audi electric cars could get costlier. They're not getting costlier. That's another good thing coming there. However, keeping 5% for EVs is something the industry was also hoping for at the least. So that is what has happened. Hybrid, we will look for certain clarity on that, and that is one segment government may also go for encouraging.
All right. And now let's talk about the bigger cars that you were referring to. Thankfully, there hasn't really been a penalty on consumers who are looking at buying expensive cars, those who can afford it. And now with cess being done away with from the 1st of October, the bigger cars and the entire range, pretty much the higher end range offered by Mahindra and Mahindra, offered by Tata Motors, as well as the, the international players who are in the Indian market. Now a 40% GST is also in effect going to be lesser than the 28% GST plus cess. So overall, it continues to be a shot in the arm even for the bigger cars by way of this cut in GST, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and that is why if you look at share prices, the market has just opened. Well, Mahindra and Mahindra is up over 6%. It's currently the biggest gainer because maybe something would have come against the interest of Mahindra and Mahindra. It hasn't come. In a way,
Right.
the SUVs are going to become cheaper. On the other hand, Maruti is up. The other automakers are up in green. We may also touch upon two-wheelers if you may like, and that is one segment. Well, common man is using common man's the 350cc bikes. They have also the below that also have become cheaper. However, coming back to SUVs, well, yes, they have also become cheaper, and that's why more and more SUVs will be seen. Well, India is a we have seen the waterlogging happening in most of the places in India, and that will also lead to more sales of SUVs. However, having said that, this financial incentive also means a lot.
Right, Sumit, I can't let you go before asking you one final question. We are running out of time, so just about 30 seconds or so. Inverted duty structure on the auto sector. The government in the press conference has said that has been fixed and all auto components are going to be taxed at 18%, and that is the minimum tax threshold for cars as well. Anything more that the government needs to do by fixing the IDC?
Well, government is definitely one important part you touched upon is auto parts sector. That is one of the biggest sectors. Remember, when the exports, or currently the tariff war was happening, India exports over $8 to $10 billion worth of auto exports to US. That is one sector that also needed a shot in arm, and that is why our government has given good incentive to that sector also. So auto parts are also some of the one of the major sectors that is going to benefit. However, some clarity on input tax credit is still needed. But overall, when the auto sector gets some boost, auto parts also, the makers also there get some boost as well.
All right, Sumit Chaturvedi, what a pleasure having you here with us on Newsline. Thank you so much for your time this morning.